good morning. Well, not good morning, good afternoon, rather. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Um, I have an update here. I have an update here. Um, on the two sisters that were found in suitcases in Cleveland. Um, Shout out to Shan Terra Speaks for this. Let's get into it.
Henderson's relatives are being investigated by police, including the father of her third child, who was...
That's what the other judges do. That's what I want you to do. This isn't a special case. The tragedy is that there are two dead children.
Found a head in a suitcase in the park.
Okay, and is it a human head or an animal head?
Yeah, no, it's a human head in a suitcase.
Yeah, 1, 2.
Make sure I got this muted. I got it.
We let no more forever.
After 28-year-old Aaliyah Henderson was formally charged in connection with the deaths of her 8 and 10-year-old daughters.
Why did she do this is my question.
For the second time on March the 12th, 2026. While this case has gripped the nation and made headlines across the country, the judge stated that in her 12 years on the bench, she has never had an attorney come before her requesting to be assigned to a case until now. According to the judge, the public defender's office approached her and requested to be assigned to represent Aaliyah Henderson in this case, something the prosecutor strongly objected to. The judge explained that in the state of Ohio, there is a rule that would allow Aaliyah Henderson to be represented by private counsel. Because of this rule, the prosecutors argued that this case is not unique. So there should be no exception made for the public defender's office to represent Aaliyah. Instead, the rule should be followed and a private attorney should be appointed to the case. The prosecutor also pointed out that when the public defender's office thinks a case is of their liking, they want to jump in, saying this is something that they tend to do in cases involving children that have made national headlines. So while the prosecutor and the public defender's office is fighting over who will represent Aaliyah on this case, there is an even bigger development. Court records now reveal that although Aaliyah Henderson is the only person currently charged, members of Aaliyah Henderson family are also being investigated in connection with the deaths of her 2 children.
Henderson's relatives are being investigated by police, including the father of her third child, who was found safe inside her home the day that Henderson was arrested. New court documents show that child is just 6 years old and is now in the care of Children and Family Services. 19 News is not naming the father because he has not been charged, but court records list him as a person of interest in the deaths with a history of domestic violence. Because of that, the 6-year-old has been placed into emergency care. Court records also show the father has not had contact with this child since they were 6 months old. The father denies all allegations of abuse.
Now, as Aaliyah Henderson remains jailed on a $2 million bond, the motive behind the senseless tragedy has not been revealed. Many have pointed out that Aaliyah appeared to create a complicated life for herself by shutting out her family and the fathers of her children. All 3 of her children have different fathers, and the fathers of the 2 children she is charged with murdering say they wanted to be involved in their daughters' lives, but claimed Aaliyah would not allow it. Now, as you may recall from my previous video, the father of 8-year-old Mila Chapman said he and Aaliyah were once in a relationship and lived together for about a year after Mila was born before the relationship ended. According to him, he later contacted Child Protective Services after reporting that Aaliyah had threatened to take their daughter's life. And he says that is when she completely shut him out. Now, Mila's father also reported that he has not seen his daughter in about 5 years, meaning that the last time he saw Mila, she would have been around 3 years old, which is why there are no current photos of the children.
I appreciate everybody that want to be aboard. Look, we was denied access to our kids when they was alive. We want to put them to rest together as fathers. We respect and we appreciate everything. But let us have this one thing, you know? Let us have this one thing. Like, we can protect them in life. Let us protect them afterward. That's all I'm going to say. And I appreciate all y'all for showing out, showing us. But, feel me? This ain't goodbye. This ain't nothing. This is a celebrated life. All right, I want to see you later. And I won't want to talk with you. Go ahead, bro.
The ages of the children also help paint the timeline of Aaliyah Henderson's relationship. Mila, which is the middle child, was 8 years old, and her oldest sister was 10. So the child who was removed from the home and she was not harmed, according to authorities, was 6 years old. So that means Mila would have been about 2 years old when her sister was born, indicating that after the relationship with Mila's father ended, Aaliyah moved on and entered another relationship fairly quickly. And as you heard in the news report, they are not going to identify the father of the child that is currently in CPS custody at this time. But it has also been reported that Aaliyah may have taken additional steps so that she was not able to be located. For reasons unknown, it is reported that she legally changed her last name in 2019. She subsequently, sometime later, would withdraw her 2 children from public school and enroll them in a virtual school online that you're going to hear about. Now, the significance of this is that the fathers, as you just heard in the clip, said that they were denied access to their children. The 10-year-old father, he's currently incarcerated, and I covered that in my previous video, and he's now come forward to release a statement because he's been getting backlash with comments of people saying, how are you going to get your child and you're currently incarcerated, and you have been for quite some time? So this is the statement that was released by his brother. But the real is, y'all love me and I love y'all. So that's what y'all gonna do. But Amor and me are the only victims in this. I can deal with bearing that black mark because I know I play a role in how this all turned out. It ain't all on Aaliyah, bro, real stuff. I know I made this mistake 8+ years ago, and I've been doing my time for it, but for some reason, I always knew catching this case will haunt me for the rest of my life. Now, keep in mind, he's been incarcerated for 8 years, so the oldest is 10, so that means he went to prison when she was 2 years old, so he hasn't been there. And he's saying now that he regrets catching this case, and he says, this is my first and only time ever doing time, but I'll never be able to leave it behind now. Let me be the example for them little boys in the streets with kids that leave their babies out there. Maybe by bearing this burden, I can change some minds about street stuff, and you can post it too. That's the real. Y'all that know me know I love my baby and would never have chosen this, but my presence and availability or lack thereof meant everything in the end. Now, he also had a social media account, or someone may have been handling it for him, and even going back to 2023, he would post happy birthday to Amor, which is his daughter that unfortunately lost her life.
Spoke to Cleveland Metropolitan School District, and they confirmed that both girls were enrolled in CMSD between August and November of 2022. On November 4th of 2022, both girls were withdrawn and transferred to Ohio Distance and Electronic Learning Academy, a tuition-free online public school. It's not known who withdrew these girls. Pastor Kyle Early spoke with us on behalf of Mila's father.
The heart and the compassion for the community that has been shown for the families that are affected by this has been divine.
As their families and the community come to grips with this tragedy, they are holding each other close as they navigate this grief.
He's a great father. Both men are. Mr. Wilson is a great father as well. I've seen firsthand behind the scenes them working together for one cause and one cause only. The first phase of this is to make sure that these babies are laid to rest peacefully.
3 members of the Public Defender's Office, I direct the prosecutor to stand in to have this conversation. This case ends in an even number. Pursuant to local rule, the public defender shall be assigned cases that end in a 1, 3, 5, or 7. It is this court's discretion to assign counsel, private counsel, for all other cases. The public defender asked to have this case assigned to his office. Anna Aurelia is representing the state of Ohio on this case. She was not present for that conversation. I will allow you the opportunity to be heard.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state of Ohio would only request that you follow the local rule. This case is like any other case in Cuyahoga County. We have had 8 other aggravated murder cases in this county this week, and I don't believe the public defender's office has approached any other judge or the judge in this arraignment room to have an assignment. This is called poaching. And this is not the first time the public defender has done it. When they think a case is of their liking, they want to jump in. They wanted to do it in Bianca Ellis, and the judge did not allow them to do that. The judge paid 2 independent assigned counsel.
Was that at the arraignment room?
It was at the arraignment room, Your Honor. But they started from the beginning because Ms. Stebbins, in that case, went out to Rocky River and talked to Bianca Ellis. So this is the same thing here. Here they went to juvenile court to approach this defendant for the emergency custody of the child who is still alive and participated in that. So at this point, Your Honor, I just want what's fair. And I want you to follow the local rules. That's what the other judges do. That's what I want you to do. This isn't a special case. The tragedy is that there are 2 dead children.
Thank you. I will allow the public defender a brief moment to respond.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ashley Stebbins for the Public Defender's Office. We, as a routine, ask the bond commissioner in cases where we have a substantial interest, where we have done some extensive work in juvenile court for bind-over cases. We reach out to be appointed in those cases. If we have a substantial interest in a juvenile court, a emergency custody or custody proceeding, we ask to be represented just for continuing representation with our office. We do have a youth and parent division where we represent people. It is routine for our office to go down to emergency custody hearings. It is not an aberration for us to be on this case because we are appointed at the emergency custody. So I take issue with that we're trying to poach this case. We are representing Ms. Henderson in the juvenile court proceeding. That is true. I have been in contact with the public defender that's handling that case. We are asking to handle this case because of that, because we were able to get into the jail to speak with her. And the Bianca.
Are you representing her in the custody case?
No, one of our.
She would have a different lawyer from the public defender's office anyway.
It would be the same team that we are able to communicate, Your Honor. So we have a social work division that is able to work with her. We have the attorneys down there are able to communicate with us easier than outside counsel. So in the Bianca Ellis case, we were actually approached by the court to come out and do the case. We did not just show up at court and ask to do the case. So I just wanted to make sure that the court was aware of that. This is not out of the blue for us to ask for a case that ends in an even number, because we do reach out.
It's not out of the blue, but it's weird.
Representation unit where we represent someone from basically arraignment and juvenile court on. We do come to this court and say, can you please appoint us to make sure that we have the same team moving forward in the adult division?
Okay, thank you. While this may not be a unique situation for you, this is a unique situation for this court. Yesterday I was approached. This is my 12th year on the bench, and I've never once been asked to be assigned by an attorney to be assigned to a case. This case ends in the number 6. It's an even number. Treating it like any other case that I'm going to assign private counsel. Thank you for your time this morning. State of Ohio. I will assign 2 attorneys to represent you. I'm assigning attorney Nancy Jameson and Kevin Spellecy. Your bond is set at $2 million, cash, surety, or property. Good luck, Jim.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, as you just heard, the court ruled that Aaliyah would be assigned 2 private attorneys instead of the public defender's office representing her. Drop your thoughts in the comment section and let me know, what do you think about the prosecutor accusing the public defender's office of wanting to represent defendants in high-profile cases for their own interests? Also, let me know, what are your thoughts about the authorities saying that all of Aaliyah Henderson relatives are currently being investigated. Now, as we know, we do not know the manner in which the kids unfortunately lost their lives, and we do not know when it occurred, because although the suitcases were found with their bodies in it, prosecutors said that they may have been in there for quite some time, and we do know that the man said he had been walking past it for at least a week before he decided to stop and check. Now, in my previous video, I played the body cam footage, but in the 911 dispatch audio that you're going to hear, this is the caller calling it in. According to him, he had been walking past it, as I stated, and it wasn't until his dog kept sniffing around it that he finally decided to stop and look inside. So you're going to hear that call, but that's not the only one I want you to pay attention to. You will also hear from the neighbor. This is the same neighbor who appeared on the news and previously said that she had been contacting authorities and felt that they were very dismissive of the concerns that she was bringing. She also claimed that Aaliyah's family had been coming around the home after everything happened. In fact, in one post, she claimed that Aaliyah's sister came to the apartment complex with a man who she said was threatening people while holding a weapon. She said she reported what she knew to police about the situation involving the children, but she felt
that's the first time I heard about this.
Of what she was telling them, and even suggested that she had been under the influence. So the officers were accusing her of being under the influence, something that she strongly denied. She also claimed that despite reporting multiple concerns, she felt authorities were making excuses and not taking what she was saying seriously. In addition to that, earlier reports revealed that there have been prior issues connected to the home where the children lived. According to those reports, Aaliyah had previously been listed as a suspect in a stalking case, although it has not been revealed who she was allegedly stalking or when that incident occurred. Now, that same neighbor, the one you're going to hear from in this 911 audio dispatch that called into authorities, she also claimed that she had been harassed by Aaliyah for about a year. She said Aaliyah threatened her, followed her, and would even be out on her porch uninvited. Police did not immediately file charges against Aaliyah in that situation. And if you remember from my previous video, this is also the same neighbor who said Aaliyah would turn up her music and that she could hear her beating the children inside the home. So with all this context in mind, take a listen to this call, and then we will get into the balloon.
We found a head in a suitcase in the park. Come here, dog. Sit down. Sit down.
Okay, and is it a human head or an animal head?
Yes, no, it's a human head in a suitcase with, like, it looks like some other body parts. Unzipped it and opened it, and that's what it was.
Okay. You said by Midland and East 162?
Yes.
Okay. And where is the suitcase?
It's all the way to the back of the park. There's a black suitcase. I'm standing on the sidewalk right now, and you can actually see the suitcase from here. Okay, it was like half buried, and I was walking my dog, and my dog started sniffing it. I've been walking past it for a few days.
Yeah.
And I said, let me just take a look and see what this is, because it wasn't there like last week.
I'm just typing this all in so we can get help out there.
I was hoping it wasn't that, but
yeah,
it is.
Lying about knocking on everybody else's door, checking on their kids. They knew my name. They knew how many kids I had. They asked for my information. They said they had a 440 number for me. How do they have all that information if they're doing a well? Hello?
Okay, I think that's better. What's your name, ma'am?
Are you talking to me or somebody else?
I'm talking to you. What's your name, ma'am?
They had my number. They said they had a 440 number for me and everything.
So typically, I understand your frustration, but when we say
it's not a frustration, it's just I feel like they knocked on the door lying.
Okay, so
about what they were really at my door for, because it's not like they went door to door.
You're speaking over me?
Now, I called you guys to give you the information that I know.
You have to let me speak. You have to have a conversation. You're speaking over me.
Oh my God. Okay, can I speak with officers?
The officers were at your house. Let me say this, okay? When the police are out, you want to ask them all the questions that you have because this is dispatch. Once an officer is out there, it's beyond us. So we don't know exactly everything that goes on once it's past being dispatched. Does that make sense?
Okay, is there a way for me to get the information?
Where are you now?
I have court this morning. I have things that I am doing. I am not at home.
Okay, so what's your address? We can send an officer back out there so you can ask whatever questions.
Now, I just said I'm on my way to court. Why would you send an officer to my house? Now,
is anybody home that can speak to police?
Yeah. I just told you what they said to the person that was home.
Okay, so what I'm saying is we can send someone back out there if you have questions.
Okay, ma'am, I'm not at home, though. Is there another way? Can we move on, please? Is there another way for me to find out information about why they at my house?
You want to know why the police are at your house?
Do I have to come down there?
Hold on. Is there somebody at your house that can speak to police?
No, listen. Nobody's at my house. Nobody's asking for nobody to pull up. I am calling to get the information. You keep trying to send people.
This neighbor is a
I
pain.
can't give you anything over the phone. You typically
okay. Well, I would like. Do you have a? Oh my God. So I need to go down there. Is what you need.
Yeah, you go down there.
I'm not at home. What the fuck?
Yeah, go down there.
That's what it sounds. I would rather you tell me that. I'm not saying I'm staying at home to wait on.
Oh my God, I'm not saying thank you. I'm not saying we don't appreciate y'all, but no one gave us a chance, the family, to hug each other in this location. We never got a chance as a family to mourn together by ourselves. We don't know y'all. I'm not saying we don't appreciate y'all, but we don't know y'all. We don't love y'all. We don't know even know the kids. And I'm sorry they even say it this harshly. That's not what I'm saying. But can we please just disperse just for the day? Just for the day. Y'all want to come back? Y'all want to come back another day? Cool. Just for today, please. I'm asking y'all, please. Respect, please.
We respect it.
Now, whether it's your candles, your flowers, or whatever you have in your hands, gonna lift this thing up. Like that. On the count of 3, we're gonna do the release, but we want to say these babies' names. Okay. 1 second, just hold your balloons. On the count of 3, we're going to say these babies' names, and may God, the Creator, bless the dead. 1, 2, 3. Give us more forever. They still here. They held on to them. They want them. They want them. Damn it, man. Hey, I like They held them down. They like, man, no. Hey, those in these don't know where we're going. Somebody can say something. We just need to do that parade. Anybody that wants to breathe, they can speak.
Okay, y'all, we got another speaker.
A lot of y'all don't know who I am. My name is Zach. You got into this court system. It's a long-ass process. I'm giving you advice. I'm way to get put in the right direction. I'm not asking you to
That's all right. I came too late. Everybody in the car, I came too late.
Did you want to say something?
Yeah. My name is Charles Shaw Jr. I'm in the same situation with all y'all guys is. But the father with the kids and everything. But I came in the last minute. Sorry about it. So I'm gonna leave it like that. My name is Charles Shaw. I'm gonna leave it like that. I don't know how they keep it up. Okay?
What was the point of talking? Yeah, just say shit, bro.
Y'all got animals, y'all can just drive from there.
Hey, what's up? Y'all trying to stop shit, man. This nigga just want to have a moment of fame.
I'm ready for what comes next, starting right now with what I want to tell the world. See? What we don't know is why the world is like this. And there is no possible answer that a person could give us to justify the damage that has been done to the world I live in today. Did you know that the crime rate has stayed at a steady level over the past 12 months?
I just want to say we are gathered here tonight because our hearts are heavy. When a tragedy like this strikes our community, it shakes it at its core. We are not here to discuss rumors, speculation, or place blame. Tonight's purpose is about honoring the lives that were lost, holding space for grief, and standing together as a community. Because see, grief has a funny way of showing us how deeply connected we are. Because of the fact that most of us did not know those young girls personally, but we felt this grief personally. We felt this loss personally. Because those children are not headlines. Those were lives. Those were possibilities, and they were love.
Been here before, as an activist, as many of you. So it hurts my heart that I'm here today, because this just shouldn't be. And all parents matter. Let me try that again. All parents matter. So a father's cry is just as sincere and serious as a mother's cry. And we have to pay attention to that. And so our prayers and thoughts go out to the family and the loss, the heavy loss.
And it brings tears to your eyes. Like, it was so sad.
Did we fail this mother as a community? I know we don't have a lot of answers right now.
You could have dropped your kids off at the fire department somewhere. The hospital? It's places that if you're tired of your children, drop them off somewhere.
Yeah.
Roll out course or something. Like, hey, I can't do this. You know what I'm saying?
Get help.
Yes. I hope they get her the best way they can. Like, I wouldn't even feed her down at the Justice Center. She don't even deserve to eat.
Thank y'all for being here. See y'all later. Peace.